amazing trainer for you that I want to set you up with.
I'm Jorge Cruise. I'm a celebrity fitness trainer and New York Times best-selling author, and I have worked with everyone from Oprah to Steve Harvey.
Welcome to the Jorge Cruise Podcast, brought to you by Zero Hunger Water. Well, welcome to the podcast, guys. I'm Jorge Cruise, your host, and I am thrilled you're here. Today's podcast is really special to me for two reasons. We're going to talk about longevity and anti-aging. Now, I've been blessed that I've been doing the same thing for 30 years, working in wellness as a trainer, as a nutritionist. And in 2001, I was an author, right? And I've been writing books ever since. And I can tell you, I think what you focus in on, that's what my buddy Tony Robbins always says, that focus is power. And I know for me, if you guys don't know the story, the reason I got into longevity and the reason I got into wellness was unintentional. But back in 1998, my mom passed away. She was only 64 years old. And for me, losing my mom was a big deal. She was a key part of my life. I absolutely miss her to this day, every single day. And when she passed, she kind of challenged me on a couple things. She challenged me, and this is the day, literally the week that she was passing, and I just remember this, that she said, you've got to continue what you're doing. And at the time, I had been very much a local leader in wellness and health here in San Diego at this place called the Sporting Club in La Jolla, near where I went to school at UCSD. But I was Mr. San Diego, maybe, and I felt really confident and happy that I had done a lot in my community. But my mom wanted more for me, and she said, you got to meet Miss Oprah Winfrey. And so it's kind of funny how when your mother says that and then she passes not thereafter, that much after, for me, a lot of things changed. And within 8 months, I met Oprah Winfrey. So I can tell you my mom's lack of longevity and her passing at an early age, 64, I'm 54, so that's 10 years from now, really did a number on me. And it got me to realize that as someone who himself was not in the best shape of his life, his whole life, I was kind of overweight when I was younger. I wanted to make sure that didn't happen to me where I was unhealthy. My mom didn't plan on passing early, but she had a hip problem from high impact exercise, and that led to her eventually getting a hip replacement. She overdid a lot of pain medications to be able to walk, and that's what hurt her kidneys. So I wanted to know how this thing called the human body worked. And for me, there's one person that I trust more than anyone else that understands how to keep us young. And on today's show, we're going to be talking to Dr. Tess Mauricio, who's become kind of like a sister to me. I'm very lucky that I have an incredible family, but there are only a few people you meet in life that are part of your chosen family. And Dr. Tess is one of those people. She and I both went to UCSD back in the 90s. She also went to Stanford and is a dermatologist trained at Stanford University. And as a doctor, she really understands not just the aesthetic of youth and vitality, but the mindset and I think even the spiritual aspect of being young. And, she and I are about the same age. I see her a couple times a year, hopefully more than that these days. But I can tell you, I met her, when I first met her, she was someone who had this spark, this light in her. And she has this incredible story where she was born outside of this country in the Philippines and really came to this country as a young girl, as a young teenager. I think she was actually 12. And she's going to tell the story here. And more importantly, she started to focus in on health. She worked her butt off. And I can tell you, she is absolutely a walking testament to someone who stays focused, and focus is power. I really believe that. And so for me, it's just a treat to have her on the show today to be able to share with you some of her incredible kind of philosophies that have helped her work with people like Paula Abdul, the Kardashians, both Kim and Khloe. She's worked with Julian Lennon. She's worked with me. But, more importantly, she is passionate about helping people over 30 and 40 stay young, and not just with the skin. And it's a mindset and it's a spirituality. So in today's show, we're going to talk about that. And then just one more thing before we start the show. I want to share with you guys something that I'm very proud of. And I'm super excited to share with you our relaunch of the Zero Hunger Water website. So if you go to zerohungerwater.com, check it out. If you have heard of it, hopefully you have, it's coming soon. We are right now actively working with some investors. So if you're interested in investing or just becoming part of our community before we launch, please check out zerohungerwater.com. zerohungerwater.com because it's all brand new. It'll tell you a little about the science. It'll tell you a lot about why I did this. And more importantly, give you a chance to connect with others who are using electrolytes to turn off hunger. And more importantly, changing their lives, because I can tell you for me, that's probably one of the secrets that Tess and I both love, is understanding the power of hydration and electrolytes to stay young and healthy and to turn off false hunger. So check that out again. ZeroHungerWater.com is live now. It's all new. Check it out. And if you're interested in the community, it's a great place to join. And if you're interested in becoming a part of the revolution, please check it out. We'd love to hear from you. You can email me at Jorge@ZeroHungerWater.com directly as well. Without further ado, let's get to the show, guys. Here's Dr. Tess Mauricio.
For the last over 10 years, the number one secret to my youthful appearance has been a dear friend of mine from UCSD originally, and that she's Stanford trained. You guys know her as America's favorite dermatologist. She right here. She's gorgeous. She's wearing Gucci. Dr. Tess, welcome.
Hi, Art.
So enough here.
I know we finally here. We're doing this.
Finally. And you look great, by the way.
Thank you.
It's elegant, but
Well, you showed me your set, and then you said, Tess, you must wear Gucci. And so here it is. Do you like it?
merch act.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Dermatologist, so that not only is ageless, but like literally you're like a style icon.
Thank you. I love fashion. I love fashion. It's in my blood. And so I'm my own stylist. I don't know if my husband appreciates that because my clothes and shoes and everything takes over the whole house. But exactly, I win.
Well, he's your Ken though.
Oh, he is my Ken. He's beyond the Ken. He's James. He's Dr. James.
Here, he's close
Yeah.
by. We'll have to talk about like how you met him.
Yes.
And you're celebrating. Can we tell everyone how many years in business now?
It's crazy. 20. Can you believe it?
You started like when you were.
I know. We are so incredibly blessed to have served thousands of patients from all over the world, but mainly obviously our San Diego patients. My family immigrated to San Diego in 1984. So we are actually celebrating 40 years of legal immigration here to San Diego, and then 20 years of practice. This is a milestone year for me and my family.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
To America from the Philippines.
Yes.
I think Tagalog, English.
Yes.
Spanish.
I can understand a little bit, and then I can understand some of the dialects. Yes.
Because hablan español in the Philippines.
Yes.
A lot of
Yes.
Latinos.
A lot of Latino energy. That's how we can move.
But can you start with maybe a little bit of that story? Because I've never asked it. And I know you were born in the Philippines, and tell us how you got to not just Stanford, but how you met James at Stanford.
Yes.
And then how from Stanford, you opened your first clinic in, what was it, 2000?
2004.
Story.
Yes. So, you already mentioned I went to medical school at Stanford, and that is where I met my husband. We were classmates there, and we sang a duet together.
Yep.
Yeah, so I actually organized the very first Stanford Medical School talent show. And so, I thought James was cute, and whenever he would work on our anatomy class, he would be dissecting, and he'll hum. And so I thought, oh, he obviously can sing. So I asked him
Yeah.
to do a duet, and we sang "If You Say My Eyes Are Beautiful" by Whitney Houston and Jermaine Jackson. And we practiced, and we loved spending time together. And I guess the rest is history. We got married there, and then, did our residencies, which is training for me in dermatology at UC San Diego. I went there for undergrad, and then again there for a dermatology residency. And then James did anesthesia at UCSD. And then we finished that. And at the time, we already had our daughter, Jaina.
Yeah.
And then we decided, okay, James is going to work as a full-time anesthesiologist, and I want to do my own thing. And we actually started by renting just a room from my primary care doctor's office. Yes, off of Mira Mesa Boulevard. Yeah, so
Came
it's...
from family of doctors as well?
No, I'm actually the very first doctor in my family. We have a lot of medical, people in my family, but I'm the first doctor. And so, yes, we decided we're just going to rent it out, see how it goes. And we went from one room to having our own office clinic to multiple offices. And it all started really with just me and my sister Angela. And yes, Angela.
Gorgeous.
And we started with her, taking calls in her cell phone as she was taking classes at Miramar College, doing her nursing classes there. And so there's no way we would have imagined that 20 years later we'll be here.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing is that we all still work together as a family. And those who have come to the clinic, really, we want them to feel like they are part of our family, because my sister is a nurse there, my brother is a nurse, and then our sister Cheryl runs kind of the logistics and the accountant of everything, and then my husband works there, so it truly is a family affair.
That is amazing.
And so is our staff, our incredible staff of really.
When I go to your office, I was just there last week.
Yes.
I mean, it's just this, and everyone's smiling, everyone's happy. And I feel like you're in the magic business, sort of, right? Because you make people feel and look like so good.
I love it. I love that I love the magic. Actually,
Tell us.
one of our patients made that a hashtag. It's like hashtag Dr. Tess Magic. And I truly believe, because we work on not just the physical aspect. Obviously, we have incredible technologies. We have incredible products that we have, at our disposal. But really, our goal is to heal people's souls and really elevate their spirit. And so that is my goal, and everything else is a tool. And so the healing happens not just on the outside, but the inside. So patients do feel that. And the attitude of those who are taking care of them while they're at M Beauty Clinic, not just me, but every single person who deals with them, really goes into the amazing healing and the results that we see.
I mean, when I met you, I remember the first treatment you gave me. I was like, wow, it was incredible. But you've been doing this now for over 10 years, taking care of my skin.
Yes. And you look great.
53.
We're the same age.
We are, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
1971.
One baby's here, guys. And I can tell you, I have never felt better. And I feel like in my life, I went through kind of a midlife crisis 3 years ago. You're one of my dearest friends.
Yes.
My birthday this year, you've been on all my birthdays. I mean, there aren't that many friends that are part of my chosen family.
Well, I think as we get older, we realize that there are few people that you can, trust and really carry with you throughout your life. So
You're one of those. And I feel like you've
thank
always
you.
had this faith in people and faith in me. Because a lot of times people, you lose your friends, you lose family when things don't go like the right way. And 3 years ago, I went through a lot of mental health issues, we can say. My ego was not my amigo, and I
Yeah.
really kind of imploded because I went through that second divorce. My father passed, I think. And then I became a little strange for my older son and my sister. And it was a hard time. And I just stopped taking care of myself, And you've been taking care of me for so many years. And I love writing my books and the podcast. But you kind of reconnected with me after I kind of got sober. And more importantly, kind of had a new faith. And not just a higher power, but I think in myself, And you talk about that, about healing souls.
Oh.
Talk about that, because you did that for me through, because I felt like I was washed up, and you brought me right back at 53, guys. Only Tess could do this. But how do you do that, Tess? Because you did it with me, and you've done it with Paula Abdul, with the Kardashians. I mean, we're going to talk about all that, but talk about your method of healing souls.
I think, I look at my work as my ministry. I actually came from a long line of pastors. And so, we all are given gifts by God, but that we can use to help others and to help people. And I've always looked at that. And I always feel like there's something that can be healed in a person. And I'm always looking at what can be made better. And I do this for, my home, and my husband's nodding. Yeah. It's like, I just have this way of looking at a person, a place, and like, oh, we can do this to make it better or make you feel better. And it can start with something very simple. And that's why I really encourage people to do self-care treatments, or even just coming in and applying products on your skin. Those things can really, the effects of that goes very deep into our psyche, into our souls and spirit. And the lifting, we do so much healing at M Beauty Clinic because we see patients who are after their divorces, after someone passed, after like difficult times in our lives. And my husband and I went through very difficult times as well. We have, over 10 years ago, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. As we thought he was recovering from that, he had spinal cord compression injury. And so I think we have a better sense of kind of understanding that when you are in really dark places, you really need to just look for anything that can offer hope. And I feel like if we can do that for our patients, it could be like the spark. And I'm so happy to hear that you coming in and seeing me
What's that
has done
smile?
that.
I mean,
Thank
you
you.
have a playlist to share with us.
Yes.
You started your playlist with what's
Right. Smile. Exactly. And that's been my mantra my whole life because, immigrating to the United States at 12 years old, I mean, I'm the oldest of four and
take us back to the Philippines.
yeah, so it was that time where there was that turmoil with Marcos, and we thought there's going to be a civil war, and so we had the opportunity to move to the United States, and so we left everything. We literally just left everything and then moved to the United States. We have relatives. I was 12, and my youngest sister Angela at the time was like 3 or 4 months old. So I had 4 kids, and my parents, who were pretty well off and had pampered lives in the Philippines, had to become like workers and, assembly line people. And so I saw that, and I was old enough to really kind of remember our lives in the Philippines, but it was my goal to really do what I can to help lift my family up. And, and that wasn't easy. And so I've gone through my own struggles, which, again, at a young age. And then my dad also had his health issues. He had a heart attack in his early 40s. He had back issues in his late 40s. And so I was working, my first job was at McDonald's when I was like 13.
You were 13?
Yes, I was Yes, I would walk to McDonald's in East San Diego, and then I sold vacuum cleaners. I worked at a real estate agency. I was a telemarketer. I did.
While you
I
were
did.
going,
Oh, I was going to school, and
well, I had a few jobs. Right?
yes.
Wow.
No, this was in high school, and then UCSD as well. So I did that. And so, I understand, I think, pain and struggles. And I felt like, if there's something that I can offer my patients is to help them improve their psychological well-being. And luckily now in 2024, we have incredible technologies where you really can turn back the aging of the skin,
Right?
really, improve scarring, improve acne on teenagers where they don't have to suffer the psychological trauma of that. And so there's a lot of healing that's happening.
Share with everyone what you've done. Like, there's usually 3 procedures you do with me, like wrinkles,
Yes.
filling, and the time machine. Will you tell me a little bit about that? Because you share this with people that are just not me, but like all your patients, including people like Paul M. too.
Yeah. So
Through the trifecta.
the trifecta it makes sense because as we all age, what happens is our skin deteriorates, right? So you got to do something about skin deterioration. There's deflation, we lose volume. And so in key areas, so you end up having wrinkles and sagging, and then the structural support of your skin, you lose that with deflation and loss of collagen and fat pads. And then you also need to address the hypermobility of muscles. So like the muscles here in your forehead, around the eyes, even the neck as well, for some patients around the mouth. And so when you address those 3 things, you really can reverse the aging of the skin. You could address wrinkles. You can bring back youthful, healthier skin, and that's with the time machine procedure. And we're able to do that so patients look absolutely natural looking. That is my goal. That is my promise. And that is what I practice. I've revealed my age already. And I think, yes, it's possible. It's possible. And it's very exciting. And when I treat younger patients, they're excited to talk to me, to see me, because they're like, oh, we're no longer scared about, the aging process, about getting older. Because now we know if you do the self-care treatments and not wait too long and don't wait too late, you really can do a lot.
Well, with today's technology, you're on that cutting edge. I don't know how you always have the newest equipment in your office, but you do. And I feel like the time machine, when you did that to me, it was absolutely, it was a very lengthy process.
Yes.
Describe it, what it
Yes. So the time machine procedure is our signature combination regenerative protocol. So we would use an energy-based device, and we can customize this based on someone's skin type, and also how much downtime they have. So we can either use a laser, and with you, we use a radio frequency microneedling device.
Yes.
Sometimes we would use, a radio frequency microneedling. Sometimes we would use ultrasound. And then we combine it with platelet-rich plasma, which is growth factors that are your own. It's like fertilizer for collagen, which also increases your healing process and accelerates healing. So you're accelerating healing, you're fertilizing for collagen. And the result of that is actually resetting the aging of the skin. So your wrinkles, sun damage, pores, acne, scars, sagging, all of those things get reversed.
The race?
Yes, it's like Benjamin buttoning the aging process, which we all love. And then collagen, real collagen gets produced. So if I took a biopsy of your skin today, and then we did that time machine procedure, and then I did another biopsy of your skin, say 6 months after the time machine procedure, and then compared the two under the microscope, 6 months after your time machine procedure, your skin will look younger under the microscope. So it's not a Band-Aid technique. It truly is a reset of the aging process of the skin. That's why we call it regenerative.
Powerful. And this is something you do in all your clinic. And you've done it for people. Can you share a few names? And Paula Abdul?
Absolutely. So, Paula is a dear friend, and obviously we're both fans of Paula. So one of the craziest things about my work is that I really have had the privilege and the honor of taking care of icons, and people who are like my idols, right? And so, when Paula, she's just the sweetest, most down-to-earth person. So how this all happened is
with Janet Jackson.
correct.
Like she is like it's like she's 30.
She is
31 maybe.
She's very open about her age, right? She's in her 60s now, and she just completed an incredible, grueling summer tour. And she did incredible. She had amazing reviews. People were blown away at how great she looks. But yeah, I've known her for about 10 years now. And how it came about is through Marla Maples. Yes, so she was Marla. Yes, so she's been my patient for many years, and I was, treating her and got her ready for Dancing with the Stars. She was there.
I love it.
Yes, I love it. Correct.
One of my friends from
Yeah, so
Marla.
Hi, Brooke. Hi, Marla. So she invited me. She invited me to the premiere of Dancing with the Stars, and then I happened to be sitting next to this gentleman at in the audience, and they came up to me and said, "Hey, are you Marla's dermatologist?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "I am a dear friend of Paula Abdul, and she's been wondering who's been working on Marla because Marla looks amazing." And so I gave him my card, and a few days later, I got a call from Paula's assistant, and then one day she just walked in our Beverly Hills clinic. And the rest is history. And she's had our time machine procedure. Many times the issue with Paula is downtime. And so we actually created a treatment called the Rockstar treatment. Because of Paula, this is using plasma energy, the plexor plasma energy, and there's no downtime, but you are sublimating the skin microscopically. So over time, it still builds collagen. It still improves pores and fine lines. And she likes that because there's no downtime, but she sees immediate improvement if she has like a red carpet or an event the next day. So
It's like a, what would you call it?
oh, it's like, you come into the clinic and then you get this instant boost, both, your skin and your confidence level because they're so tired and they work so hard. And so something like that is really great. We've done the soft wave treatment as well. Soft wave is no downtime, FDA approved, non-surgical lifting technology. So it's amazing. It's powerful. A lot of the celebrities love it because, again, they come in, they instantly feel and look lifted and look refreshed. And then over the next few months, they will look even better and better.
So the skin really is an incredible, they say it's the largest organ in the body.
It is the largest organ.
Because why are we so, like, I think a lot of people, like when I was going through that midlife crisis, I thought maybe I could color my hair or something, but that's not going to do it. I mean, the skin is important.
Oh, the
I mean,
skin
hair is important too. You need both.
And the cool thing about coming to M Beauty Clinic is we also dermatologists are the true skin and hair experts.
You also restore hair, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And they're again like the skin, they're incredible regenerative therapies for the hair. This is all mine. There are no extensions. And so we have incredible lasers, platelet-rich plasma, which we apply on the skin, can also be used for the hair. There are exosomes, which are regenerative treatments from stem cells that can be applied on the hair as well as top supplements what that we can put together in a package for patients to restore their hair.
No.
Exactly.
So tell me about this, because I know one of the people you worked with was in the news maybe last year. She had a kind of a type of skin cancer. She's a Kardashian. Can you share? I know it's you can't share everything, but share.
Yes.
Well, tell us who it was, right?
Yeah, so Khloe Kardashian, she's open about this, and I can share what she's already shared. And I'm so happy that celebrities like Khloe shared their journey and maybe skin cancer scares, because it does encourage people to take a look at their skin. And what happened was there was a bump on her skin that she thought was just a zit, a pimple on her cheek, in the middle of her cheek. And I looked at it, I examined it, and then I determined based on history. And she also, told everybody she has a history of melanoma at the age of 18, which is very young. And so in patients where they have a history of melanoma, there's a new growth, then your suspicion as a dermatologist really should be pretty high. At least you need a biopsy. It may end up being a benign growth. There are a lot of benign growths that can happen on the skin. And this is why it's important to really see a dermatologist right away when you have any new growths, any new pigmentation, or changing spots on your skin, because most dermatologists, just looking at it, will be able to tell you if you need a biopsy or if you can just forget about it or just ignore it. And this time I recommended a biopsy, and I'm so happy that Khloe and Chris was there too at the time, agreed for me to do a biopsy in the middle of her cheek. And it is important, and I'm glad that they did. And a lot of people, I just encourage people, don't be scared of that biopsy, because a lot of people get scared. Is it going to be painful? Is it going to leave a big scar? If you are going to get skin cancer, you want to catch this as early as possible. And many times, of course, the majority of things that are biopsied are benign, and then you can have the peace of mind that you're not allowing a skin cancer to grow in your skin. And so Khloe ended up having a large surgery, which actually included in her show, right? It was on, it was there. It was all over there. She had a big scar. She had to wear like patches on it for a while. And it has required some treatments for the scar. But, it was very powerful because we actually got a lot of patients coming in, examining their skin, and then coming in to see me for biopsies. And I have had diagnosed more skin cancers on patients because of her, her sharing her journey.
Anyway, now, Tess, if they're thinking, maybe I have been in the sun too much, because I go in the sun a lot. You've always told me to wear sunscreen. I misbehave sometimes.
Yes, I know. Some so like
In the skin, but tell us, if anyone watching right now or listening to us, what's like one, two, three, like three simple things to look for. So they may
yes.
have to give you a call or reach out to a dermatologist or just get that opinion, right? What do we look for if there could be a concern?
Yeah, so it's the ABCDE of melanoma, right? So asymmetry, look at the border. You want the color to be even, and then diameter if it's bigger than the size of a pencil eraser. And then E is for evolving. If it's changing at all, you really need to see a
And
dermatologist.
if someone is overwhelmed, they're like, I don't know, I feel like, what will they feel? What would it look like?
If
The basic.
usually if it's a pimple within a month, if you think it's a pimple, usually any inflammatory papule or growth that is going to be benign, usually within a month it will be gone. If it's still there over a month, it needs to be examined. Yeah, and we did the same for Julian Lennon. And Julian,
There?
yes. So John Lennon's son, Julian, he's an incredible artist, humanitarian, and he's just an incredible person. And I met him through NVC's California Live.
No way.
Yes, so we happened to be guests there, and we just hit it. Sometimes you just have and that's how we
I
met.
can tell the story later.
Yeah,
We
so
should
the
not-
green room meetings are the best. And so we met at the green room of NBC's California Live, and he lives in Europe, so he doesn't live here. But anytime he is in California, he makes it a point to contact me. And one time he did, and he was actually on, I think 2 days later he would have left already, and he wanted me to take a look at a birthmark on his scalp. And also, this is a teaching, but it can be in the scalp, it can be in your palms, your soles, things that are, hidden from sun. So I took a look, and there was a spot within his birthmark that I did not like. And I just, again, I convinced him to do a biopsy. We did a biopsy, and within like a day or two, he found out it was a skin cancer. And this really freaked Julian out because his mom unfortunately passed away from cancer. And so he actually postponed leaving, and then I did the excision. I removed the whole thing from his scalp, and then margins were clear and everything's good. And again, if you catch it early, you really can save your life, because that's the key, is you want to catch it early. And so Julian also shared his story, his journey, and again created incredible awareness.
It's incredible. No, yeah, I remember that story because it was on Keeping Up the new show on Hulu.
Yes.
Which is great. Now, I saw in your office recently, and I haven't asked you, so if I may, you've also worked with her sister Kim, and she signed some beauty. Like, what was that magazine cover she's on? Did she sign for you?
Oh, she's on everything.
Well, yes, the one she was.
She is like Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
What was that like working with Kim?
it's surreal, I think they're probably the most famous people in the world, right?
Absolutely.
And then to see them like just be real people, and we're pleasantly surprised, because you never know how they will be, and they're so down to earth, and they're really humble, and they're really nice. And it's almost like, what the persona that's online is not, not the same, because they're just so normal.
I think that's the thing. And I worked with Chloe. You remember?
Yes, she's sweet.
She's beyond sweet, and she really cares about everyone. She was such a great person.
Yes.
Was Revenge by
Mm-hmm.
weight loss story, and it was just so powerful. And I met Chris. I met her at Nobu
She's
in Malibu. She's so like sweet. Security was like, "Oh, no, you can't talk to her." She's like, "No, come over, big guy."
yes.
So she was wonderful, and I feel like
Chris is from San Diego.
she is from La Jolla.
Yes, I don't know if she's from La Jolla, but we had a conversation about San Diego. So yeah, she's originally from San Diego.
Yeah, I think her mom, MJ, had a candle shop in
In La Jolla.
Yes.
Mhm.
I always remember they love to go to La Valencia, one of my favorite hotels. If you guys come to see, it's like the Pink Hotel.
Yes. Well, San Diego's so cool. So Kim is amazing, and she's nice enough to sign that for us. And it was me, Angela, and Lisa and James. So it's it's incredible. 20 years when I think back about, my career, the clinic, it's really, I would never have imagined, even in my wildest dreams, that this is where I would be and that I would be treating my icons. I used to listen to Julian Lennon's song. I used to I knew his song. I memorized his song, Paula's songs, Black Eyed Peas, Apple the App of the Black Eyed Peas is also a patient for a very long time and a dear friend. And, Boys to Men, Wanya Morris also is a dear patient and friend. And so we always was crazy, Jorge, is recently there was a concert at the Hollywood Bowl with Boys to Men and Paula Abdul. Yes. And so I'm like, and it ended with a fireworks show. And, I was saying a prayer during that fireworks show because I'm like, my God, you chose me to be in this position, and I'm just so grateful. It's just prayer of thanksgiving that, that my patient, what are the odds, right? That they would be, and I'm there at that moment. And then after the concert, I was able to bring like my whole family to see, Boys to Men, say hello to Wanya, say hello to Paula. And I'm like, this, pinch me at the Hollywood Bowl, right?
Well, they say everything happens for us, not to us. And I feel like life, the universe, God, whatever that higher power is, has really come into your life to give you a direction to help, like you said, to really help lift people up. And I think with dermatology, I always knew, like, as an author, that people judge a book by its cover. They always say you shouldn't, and as humans, well, we have egos. And we want to look our best. Even when someone says, oh, I don't care how I look. They do, right, Tess? Tell us about like that ego, because I think a lot of people feel guilty about wanting to look their best. But I feel like it's like your skin and how you look and how you feel. And also if you have weight or less weight or muscle or not, it does impact your health. Like the skin, if your skin maybe is in a place where if someone's watching right now where they're not happy and they feel like they should like try to snap out of it. Why is it okay to actually care about your skin and maybe look into getting something that could help them restore, what is it, elasticity, the texture?
Yes.
I mean, you do everything.
Absolutely.
Why does it matter? Because I think some people, not that they need permission to take care of
Make
themselves.
it's not vanity. It's not vanity. There's more and more science that shows there is an interconnection between outer beauty and inner beauty. I actually wrote a book called California Total Beauty with my dear friend, Dr. Brian Ullman. He is a renowned, coach, a psychologist. And essentially, if you want to feel good, you can do two things, right? You can either work on your inner beauty, and when you're at peace, when you're happy, when you're in love, when you're grateful, that really impacts how you look. If you're stressed out, your hair's going to fall out, you're going to get acne, your rashes. So the skin is such an amazing indicator of your overall health, well-being, psychological, physical health, right? So you can boost your outside beauty by working on your inside, but the reverse is true as well. If you work on your outer beauty, which now we have access to incredible treatments, there are actually data that shows getting Botox when you can't look angry, you can't look sad, your brain kind of doesn't register sad anymore. You are happier. They have done that. It's true. And so now when you look good, you feel good, you're happier, you're at a higher vibrating state. People react to you, respond to you in a different way. There's actually, a book called, the Science of Beauty, because beauty is a currency as well in our world. It's never going to change. And now more than ever, you don't even have to feel like you have to be born with it.
Yes. I mean, people can, what's
Take advantage of, of what is science.
Yes.
Take advantage of science. You don't have to be born beautiful. You can create beauty. If you had genetics to have acne, which I did, I had really bad eczema when I was a kid. I had bad discoloration. Um, you know, it's those things that I know can be made better, and that's why I was drawn towards dermatology. Is that I felt like when I was doing my rotations in at Stanford when I was a medical student, I thought I wanted to be a psychiatrist because I felt like when you improve someone's psychological well-being, that is the best gift you can give anybody. But then when I did my rotation in derm and I saw how you can improve someone's acne, a teenager who's withdrawn, shy, not going out, covering their face, not looking at you, not enjoying life, not dating, is suddenly turned into a more outgoing, happy, well-adjusted young adult. And so I'm like, man, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do.
Right.
Yes.
That beauty gives you a sense of confidence. And I know for me at 53, you're 53, we don't look like most 53-year-olds out there. And I can tell you, for me, like you have this, you know the medicine, you know the skills, but I think, and maybe it's your style, and maybe, and it's obvious you have great style, and you know how to like make things feel magical, I think. But not everyone knows that. I've met a lot of dermatologists. Used to live in Malibu in LA. There's a lot of people. I had once a nose breakage, and I had to go through a bit of reconstruction. And it's hard. It's really hard to find someone who has that artistic eye. How do you have that, Tess? Because you have that gift.
No,
You know?
I think, I mean, maybe God.
Yes.
I do, it is a gift, and I feel like it's something that can't be taught to people, and also heart, and putting together a team and that can offer the same to all of our patients. And I think that's part of the Dr. Tess Magic, is that we really, really care. And we don't just care about, that part of the skin that we're working on. We care about the whole entire person, all the way down to their souls.
Part, I feel like in today's world, doctors unfortunately have a reputation, some, not all, of being just, well, they always say that they have that bedside manner that's a little cold. And I want to say you are not hot in the sense of hot that way, but you have this warmth. That
I try.
And you don't burn anyone, you don't freeze anyone, although it's not that very literally, right? You can also
Thank you.
But I think that's it, because I feel like when you're with me, because I think a lot of doctors are like, I don't know how they do it. They're maybe
It's tough,
Look,
Like that.
I wanted to get into that in a minute, but there's a client that you had recently, David. Tell me about David, because I feel amazing, but I think you changed his life completely.
Oh, yes. So David Toborowski of 90 Day Fiance, I met him through Paula. And Philip B of Philip B Hair Products. One day they decided they're going to have lunch at Alan Nate's in Beverly Hills.
So you were there.
And, I was actually seeing patients. James went there first, and then I got a little break and I ran from Rodeo Drive. Oh, yes.
He really is. Even though he's an amazing anesthesiologist, and he doesn't have to work. He does, right?
It's one of those things that is such a blessing. Not every couple can work together. We realize that. And there are definitely some days where we're like, but that's very, very few, considering we are together most days. I think I credit my husband because, sometimes it's very hard for men to have strong women wives. So I met him through Paula, and then, he contacted me, and his main thing is to address his eye bags, his upper eyelids. He does not want surgery because he's scared. He wants to look natural. And so we put together a combination protocol, a special time machine procedure treatment for him, and also powered by this incredible technology called Plexer, which is a plasma device to actually non-surgically remove extra skin of the upper eyelids and under eyes. Wow. Yes, it's through sublimation. So sublimation is a process that takes solid state to gas immediately, like automatically. So you literally see the surface area of the skin that you're treating, shrinking as you speak, as you're treating. It's pretty magical. And then, so people who are like, oh, I have this extra skin on my upper eyelids, extra skin in my under eyes. There's a lot of creepiness in my under eyes. We can do it without surgery. You have a little bit of healing. It takes about a week. And David shared his photos. You'll see there's photos where he has like scabs on his upper and lower eyelids. It only lasts about 5 days, but when they come off, it looks amazing. And then we also treated the under eyes eye bags. So we use the Candela radio frequency microneedling. So the RF radio frequency and the needles can go deep enough to target the fat pad that creates the bulge in the under eyes. And so we target the fat without cutting it, right? And then we also address the hollow, which is called the tear trough. A lot of people have eye bags, bulgy, deep canal under the bulge. And then we naturally volumize that with something called platelet-rich fibrin matrix. So it's something that we harvest from patients' blood, and it's rich in growth factors. And instead of a filler, which I do not recommend for the under eyes, never have. We use platelet-rich fibrin matrix, and that naturally fills in the hollow. And you guys, I encourage you to look at David's Instagram because he's in Thailand now because his wife Annie is they're going to have a baby girl. And so they are in Asia right now, but he looks so transformed. He looks so amazing. Now, anytime he posts, I'm like, David, you look amazing.
So happy.
He's so happy. Annie's happy because now the joke is he wanted to look like his baby's dad, not granddad.
Yes. Well,
So,
I
yes,
feel like
that's it.
you're at the right period in your heart, and that's important. What are some, and we'll put them in the show notes, what are some names that may be good for people to purchase?
Yeah, so I like coconut oil.
Coconut.
Yes, yes. So the oil, some people use olive oil, some people use the Neutrogena body oil. So as long as it's oil.
About to take a shower.
Before you take a shower, actually what I like to do is I body brush.
And how about for gorgeous hair?
For gorgeous hair, yes.
The best hair.
Thank you. So, I mean, supplements are really important. So, if you are talking to your clientele, if you are any kind of diet can affect your hair. It can cause shedding. So, you want to make sure that you're still getting proper nutrition, your proteins, your vitamins. You can take collagen, but you don't want to be protein depleted because your hair will suffer. I have patients who are taking, the GLP-1, agonist medications, and so
Happens when we have that and we lose the weight rapidly and we don't get enough protein.
right. And there is such thing now as Ozempic face, Ozempic butt, and we definitely see Ozempic hair because it falls out. It's one of the potential side effects. And so this really should encourage you to make sure that you're getting your supplementation, your nutrition, your proteins, and you're not totally starving the body.
Yeah.
You can. The body needs it.
Build it, because I know with the work I've done, protein is so important for lean muscle,
Mhm.
let alone skin, hair,
Yes.
nails, joints. I mean,
And-
everything that the body's got. We don't want to know that.
Exactly. So that's why, combination therapies with volumization, whether it's platelet-rich fibrin matrix, hyaluronic acid, fat transfer, and then, skin tightening and lifting type of treatments to try to combat that, that sagging that can happen with any kind of rapid weight loss. Doesn't have to be from Ozempic. Any rapid weight loss can do that. As far as brands go, I mean, for facial sunscreen, we like the Illumia MD sunscreens, which they offer so many different kinds depending on your skin, because some people have oily skin. Some people need moisture. So that's the cool thing about the Illumia MD sunscreens. And there's some tinted ones too. because obviously with skin of color, sometimes you don't want that white zinc oxide look.
Yeah.
And then powders, you should have it in your makeup as well. Your lip balm should have sunscreen. Don't forget your hands need sunscreen, especially if you're driving around
And you
California.
told one side of the face of people drive. Do you remember?
Yes.
Tell them what you told me
So
about driving.
absolutely. So we definitely see a lot more skin cancer, sun damage, and aging on the left side in California because there is absolutely more sun exposure there. And so, try to be aware of it. Yes, make sure there's more sunscreen or reapply on that side. But it's not a mystery why that is.
And people used to wear gloves to drive, driving gloves.
Yes.
I'm not saying you have to wear gloves.
If you really do, I try to cover my hands. So if you thank you, I get my hands treated. So the same time machine procedure that's done for the face, for the neck, chest can be done for the hands, the arms, because that's skin.
Tell us what you predict for 2025. What do you see happening with beauty, sunscreen, dermatology?
Yes.
Because you go to all the expos.
Yes. So I think
Fun.
absolutely regenerative medicine is here to stay. And so utilizing our body's natural ability to heal, repair, and regenerate our skin, our hair.
Still the
Yes, it is because although, my patients would be like, oh, that's like, you've been talking about this for the last 10 years. It's still very, very new to the general population. The use of platelet-rich plasma, platelet-rich fibrin matrix instead of fillers. I think there's filler fatigue out there. People, even like celebrities now are basically removing their fillers and they're opting for a more natural look, which is awesome.
yeah.
And relying more on these regenerative natural products like platelet-rich fibrin matrix, and also utilizing technology like we do at M Beauty Clinic and combination therapies like the time machine procedure. I think there'll be more and more of those, and because when patients like David Toborowski of 90 Day Fiancé, he has millions of followers, and when they are seeing the sequence of improvement, they can't believe that these kinds of results are achievable without cutting, without going under the knife. And so I'm so happy that people are really knowing now that there's so much that we can do without going under the knife.
That's the beauty that you bring, is not just the artistry and the technology, but you have this pulse on everything that's happening. So I think that's so important. So let's do this test with the time we have left. I know we have some music we've selected that you love, and I know you also sing, but I'm not going to ask about that. I know James is here, so we may have to bring him on. I want to ask you is for what you do and everything you've done with so many people, a few questions that people have asked you about your nutrition, diet, and then a little exercise, because you look, and we'll show pictures. We'll take pictures for you, and crew can see them. But what are your tips right now for yourself as a woman who's, and you have a daughter and a son that are, like the ages of like my kids are older and all that. What do you recommend diet-wise? What is your typical day in diet right now? Give me
Right.
insight.
So, so I went through menopause. I'm that. So I think that,
How was your, by the way?
well, I was definitely symptomatic. You don't appreciate it until you're going through it. And I feel like that's why I'm so passionate about creating awareness, because I think knowledge is power. We actually hosted our first women's seminar focusing on menopause with Dr. Sembi, who is also a women's health expert, and Jaina, who will be longevity and women's health expert. My daughter Jaina, who's finishing medical school. Hi, Jaina. And so, so there's so much mystery around this, what I call milestone in women's lives, menopause. And I feel like, we really need to help each other. And there's so much more incredible technologies now and information that, one, we really need to address the hormone loss, the estrogen loss, which really contributes to accelerated aging of the skin, hair loss, and dryness of our like female the female health and everything. And so I'm on hormone replacement, and I have to really, yes,
Because I know there's always concern. I'm also on testosterone, TRT.
yes.
And I feel like it's important for people our age to hopefully share the honest truth, because a lot of people think, oh, I can't do that, it's too dangerous.
Well,
What do people
more
think?
science and more, I guess, doctors who are specializing in women's health and in this, in menopause care is really advocating hormone replacement, because we know that not only does it help your symptoms like hot flashes, brain fog, aches and pains, palpitation, anxiety, sleeplessness. I mean, there's so many energy, drive, focus, your heart, your bones, your all your, yes. And
Women don't do that. It's normal for women to feel, what's the word? I don't want to use a bad word, but
oh yes,
themselves or what?
you really don't feel like yourself. You really don't feel like yourself, and it's not a wonder why many women fall out of the workplace, get out of the workplace around this age, because it gets very, very difficult and challenging. And so, and perimenopause, which I think we should talk about, that could be a 10-year period where you're fluctuating, and you're starting to decrease your estrogen levels, and you are starting to maybe see changes in your skin, where your skin's starting to feel dry, you're starting to get acne as well, you're getting more sensitive to products, and maybe you're starting to again, feel more overwhelmed, and like you said, your mood's changing. And you can get, if you don't know about it, if you can't recognize it, that it could possibly be hormonally related, then you just maybe attribute it to, depression, anxiety, or other stress.
So your body literally stops producing certain hormones.
Yes.
And if you can replace them,
And
it's a huge transformation.
exactly. And so, and it's not for everyone, but I urge everyone to at least have guidance,
And have a
have
test.
medical guidance.
Getting hormones.
So there's definitely different tests.
With their doctor.
So my doctor runs both blood tests, and also there's a Dutch, which is a dry urine test. And then it'll check all of your different levels of hormones, estrogen, testosterone, cortisol. Because with women's bodies, it's so complicated. It's not just testosterone. It's like a balance of everything, because women also need testosterone.
Yes.
Um,
That's what's
so-
controversial.
So, and then
I
it's,
don't want any, but you need.
you need it because you had it when you were younger. And so to feel the same, and for your body to feel the same, you have to replace it if you are the right candidate.
Woman is watching or guy that I know. For me, I was told it happened because I only checked maybe, but they say for men around age 34, 35, the hormones start to change. Women obviously go through it more and later in
In the
life.
40s. Yeah, 40s for sure.
Give everyone kind of like the milestone, if they're at a certain age and they haven't had the test. When should they start looking at it? As early as
I think
men and women?
I think if you're starting to have some of the symptoms that I mentioned, if you're a woman in your 40s, you could be definitely in perimenopause, and it's a quick check. Some doctors will not allow, and then some insurance companies will not allow to cover these, so you may have to pay out of pocket. It's totally worth it, because it can be so life-changing how much better you feel if you can do the hormone replacement. And also, again, you are going to slow down the aging of your skin. Statistics show that within 5 years of menopause, we can lose as much as over 30% of our skin's collagen. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot within 5 years.
And we can now restore it. How quickly?
You can actually restore it. So the earlier you replace, the better. Obviously, and it's so important, even bone health, right? Bone health, cardiac health, and now even talking about Alzheimer's prevention. So it's very important. And so hormone replacement, and then nutrition. Now that I'm in my 50s, right? I want to, yes, more protein, more vegetables, less carbs, less, sugar.
Yes, no carbs and low weight.
I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I never drink alcohol. I try to, I work I worked for the longest time with uh, my personal trainer, Rico Cavaglia, who is incredible and turning 84.
He's 84.
And he doesn't take any prescription medications. Yeah, so he definitely has taught me how to do more functional exercises, exercises that keeps you flexible, increases your strength, your core strength, your quads, and work on everything from head to toe so that you can be able to do what you need to do. So it's functional fitness without being too crazy that you're risking injury.
To go to a
No, not necessarily. And then now, of course, I'm trying to add more weights because we all know that is so important for bone health and of course,
for lean muscle.
right,
Especially if we are lean, we need that strength.
right. Exactly. So I'm trying to. So I just have free weights while I'm watching TV. I'm doing it myself.
I love it.
My daughter Jane, I do yoga. I try to do yoga. And I'm I'm hardly sitting. So I try not to be sedentary. It really is. I'm kind of getting.
She was like, oh.
Thank you.
Well, then share this with us because I think this is maybe the last question, but this is the one that is important. You selected some incredible music for us. We're going to include the playlist on Spotify.
Okay.
Tell us what the songs are because they're all from your heart, I think, and they uplift you. I mean, the first song, Smile. So, do you know the artist? His name is.
Well, Smile is from. So there's Nat King Cole's version. It's originally was Charlie Chaplin's.
What?
Yes, and then it was sung by Nat King Cole and even Michael Jackson sings. Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fears and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through. If you'll just smile. There you go, guys.
Oh my gosh, your voice is fine.
Thank you. Yeah, so we all are going to go through our own challenges in life. It is part of life. And I tell this to my kids that life is not going to be easy. Life is not meant to be easy. It's supposed to have struggles and challenges, but it can strengthen us. And you just smile and you pray and just trust that everything happens for a reason.
I so believe that. The strongest oak grows against the strongest wind. You need that weight. It's almost like building muscle.
Yes, it is. And that's really how it all works. The muscle, the skin, there is challenge. And the time machine procedure, essentially, we are creating these very, very controlled wounds in the skin. And it's through that wound healing repair that we create younger, more resilient, healthier skin.
As I say, if you don't use it,
you lose it. That's actually Rico's favorite quote. My personal trainer, if you don't lose it. No, he's Italian. Rico Cavaglia. Yes. Yeah, so he actually, so he watched my way back. So I actually started working out with Rico when I just gave birth from with Michael. So he's now going to be 19. So I have a 25-year-old daughter, Jana, who's finishing medical school. And
tell us a little bit about that because she's coming in now to work with you.
Yes.
This is on season, was it season 5?
Oh, so we have a show. So we have a TV show. We've had a reality show on GMA Pinoy TV, which is the largest global Filipino network, for the last 10 years. So it's been 10. Yes, it's been 10 years. Yes. Yeah, so for the last 10 years, and it's kind of like, it started with the Dr. Tess show, many seasons of that, and then people wanted to see the family, the kids, and so it became All in the Family with Dr. Tess.
What did James? Correct. Okay.
I don't know if he had a choice. He was kicking and screaming. he really didn't like it in the beginning, but
Yeah.
but it's great. We actually, it's interesting. We just had a premiere of season 6, and we did a premiere party, and after we did the showing of the first episode, we had a Q&A of our next generation. Our children
Yes.
were asked,
Your daughter, 25.
our daughter, our son, my nieces,
Yes.
and they were asked because they all grew up in the show because it's 10 years. And it was Maria Arcega Dunn, Phil Blauer, and my friend Mark Anthony Nicholas, who's an Emmy Award winning producer for The Talk. They were there, and they did the Q&A, and the interview was amazing. We were so proud of our next generation, and also what a relief to hear, because I kind of put them through this, just to hear that they thought this was a positive experience, being part of the show and growing up with cameras.
Well, you know what it does is, I think, look at the Kardashians. They're all confident people, and I think if you can learn to deal with anyone talking about you, it's hard, because to turn that off is hard, right, Tess?
Yes.
Taught your kids the key to turning off that noise. Any tips for anyone out there that is worried about what people say about them? Because I'm sure your kids don't worry, and I know some kids and adults, they're always so worried about what people think.
Right.
So what did you tell your kids, or what did they see me?
I think authenticity is so important, and in the long run, it really will save you. And I think, I tell my kids, okay, just do and be your very best every day, and only you know that. And sometimes your best for that day is not the same as your best last week, right?
True.
So just do your best and be your best. Yes.
You don't have to be the best every day. It's the best.
Right.
But just
Right.
best.
Best of that day, and do your best and be a blessing to others. And the rest, you just let God take care of it.
Well,
I
Tess,
mean, I try to tell myself that, because I obviously, you and me, we're the type of people who try to control outcomes and get very upset when it doesn't work out.
Where God grants us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, which is
Mhm.
hard for me and for everyone.
Mhm.
That's my prayer.
Yes.
And the courage to change the things we can. And then the wisdom that we get, I think, with age, right? That's the wisdom to know
The difference,
and I think
right?
you know that. I mean, do you still struggle at
Yes.
times to let go? Because
Oh,
I know I can, but I have to meditate.
I'm better at it now. I think I'm much better. I wish I told my younger self this, and I wish I learned it sooner.
Yes, me too.
Right. And so that's why I try to teach the next generation this. And I'm glad we're talking about this. And I've talked about this in other podcasts, is that, you think you are in control of your life, but really, most of the time it's like you really don't know where life is going to lead you. But many times you will be pleasantly surprised if you have done your best, if you have been your best, and if you've just tried to be a blessing to others, because good things will come.
I know for me, when I lean into faith instead of fear is where I go crazy. My ego wants to take over, and it's hard, but I have to let go. And I was raised Catholic, and there's a faith there that I had, and I at one time lost that faith, but I regained it in the last 3 years.
Yes.
You were part of that, and I think when you can have that faith, it's just so. Not we have to get spiritual, religious in any way, but I feel like letting go and having faith that the universe or whatever your higher powers are choosing is there, and that it happens for us.
Right.
Because even the adversity, right? As hard as life
So
is,
true.
Confucius said that years ago, right? That life is suffering. Sounds horrible, but that's like saying you got to go to the gym for life. And you
Yeah, you do.
that's how you
If you want to have these guns.
you think. But I will say that it's about understanding that those weights are can be a tool.
Right.
And the glass is half full, right, Tess?
Yes. No, it's true. And I think just also being aware and recognizing when things are happening that God has meant for you, which means the little things, the little miracles, or when things work out. And I'm really, really happy that my kids are learning this. When yes, it's hard, but you know, when you're like, when you end up in a place in your life where you're like, why did I end up here? This is not where I wanted to be. I deserve better. Um, and then when things happen in your life that like, oh my God, you look back, you're like, that's why. And I think that is the what we all need to kind of open our eyes, ears, be aware of those miracles and the moments where God is speaking to us, and telling us that things will be fine, and you know, hey, we're gonna be fine.
I love that. All is well. Louise Hay used to say that. She was one of my publishers for years. A House. She would always say, all is well.
Yes.
You know, and it is. And we got to let go. And I think the Serenity Prayer song, your playlist will bring people joy. So guys, we're going to have that in the show notes. Tell everyone how to get a hold of you, Tess. I hate to wrap up.
Yes.
You're on the web. To say you're on TV is also accurate. Maybe start with the TV. If people want to watch it, can they go online as well? If they have TV?
Yeah, so our show All in the Family with Dr. Tess is on GMA Pinoy TV. It's also on streaming, some of the platforms. There's some episodes on YouTube as well. And I'm on social media at Dr. Tess Mauricio on Instagram, Tess Mauricio on Facebook. I'm on TikTok, although I don't use TikTok a lot. Our clinic website is mbeautyclinic.com. We do offer free consultations. And so anywhere you are, they can email info@mbeautyclinic. And then there is a process through our cosmetic consultants. You will send your photos and your concerns, and I will review the photos and make the recommendations. And then you will get a quote. So you'll know exactly at least what you can plan for, and we can prioritize. So please take advantage of that and get educated about all the incredible treatments that we have, so that you can look and feel your best at any age.
Things from your team, and we'll add this to the show notes from the show.
Absolutely.
Congrats on 20 years.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Voice. Oh.
Hashtag Dr. Tess Magic.
Well, thank you guys for watching and listening. Everything's in the show notes, guys. Peace and purpose by everyone. Thank you. Good job.